Today we've got terrible weather conditions. Have a cold front that's blown through, still blowing through. 25-mile-an-hour winds. It's cold. Temperatures are going to drop as the day goes on. We're going to get into the 20s later this evening. But my challenge today is to try to catch some fish in these kind of conditions. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. If you like fishing content, go ahead and subscribe. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see if we can catch a fish in these terrible, cold, windy conditions. Stay tuned. Fish. So in spite of bad fishing conditions, that's a 4-pound spot right there. Nice fish, just beautiful. Check out the colors on that fish. Caught him on my jig. Beautiful. So I'm having to find places that are out of the wind. The wind's blowing just way too hard. Well, even if that's the only fish I catch today, that was worth it. Beautiful fish. The old jig from here till spring will be on the deck of my boat for sure. Just keeps working. So it's in the 40s this morning. 45, 44 degrees, and it's going to steadily drop throughout the day. It's going to be cold. It's already cold. There's a wind advisory on the lake today, so there's not going to be too many other people out, I don't think. Most people are smart enough not to be out here. That's a solid 1.5 pounds. Conditions are terrible, but there's still some good fish to be caught. The wind's blowing so hard, I'm just trying to find areas that I can get out of the wind and just slowing way down, and I'm catching a few fish. Whoa! That's 2.5, 3 pounds. That makes my day. This is a kind of a bluff wall. I'm out of the wind, but I'm just kind of letting it fall right down the drop off. The temperature's starting to drop already. It's freezing out here. But when you can catch fish like that, oh man, why stay at home? When you're fishing a jig in the rocks like I am, you got to check your line a lot. I am actually fishing a braid with a fluorocarbon leader. I've got a 20-pound leader on. I was starting to break off a few fish just from, you know, dragging my line down through the rocks. And I hate to lose them, so you know, I am not a fan of braid, to be honest, but certain conditions it you know, it just makes sense. So what I'll do is I'm going to fish down this area here, which is out of the wind, but I'll go try to duplicate it somewhere else if I can find another place out of the wind where I can actually fish. Rocks seem to be part of the equation for catching these spots right now. You got to have rock, and you got to have a steep drop off. The areas I really want to fish are it's just too windy. Wind's blowing, it might be 25, 30 miles an hour. Was a fish. That's another 1.5 pounds, 1.75 pounds. Not bad for a day that I really was considering just staying home. The wind is just so strong. And you know, we're post cold front. Fishing is slow, but if you slow down, you know, fish it slow and just kind of work with the wind, you can catch some fish. The good thing about this jig right now is when these bass hit it, they don't let it go. I mean, you miss one occasionally, but for the most part, they're when they bite it, they don't let it go. So I'm starting to get more in the wind out here on this. It's making fishing a lot more difficult when you get out in this heavy wind. Now, I don't mind fishing in the wind, but this is ridiculous wind here. It's really blowing. Boy, that wind. Okay, I'm not as out of the wind as I would like to be. So we'll see if I can even fish over here. The temperature has really dropped. It is very cold, and that wind will just blow right through you. I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised. I've caught 4 nice fish, and there should be a couple more on the way here back to the boat ramp, but I'm probably gonna, I don't know, I might have to call it an early day. I have to work this evening, so I've got some time, but boy, the wind. That's why I keep coming out. Oh man. If that's a spot, it's a giant. And it is. It's a gigantic spotted bass. That is a monstrous spotted bass. That's got to be 4.5, maybe 5 pound spot. Just a giant. Wow, that's a monster spotted bass. Look at the colors on that beautiful fish. Oh man, that is huge. That's a huge spotted bass. On second thought, I might have to stay out here a while. Unbelievable. That was a giant spotted bass. Unbelievable. Wow. Wow. Okay. I'm battling this wind, but man, with fish like that, how could you? I just can't go in. Man, that was a big spot. So I'm fishing the wind-blown bank now, the wind's blowing in here, and I think it's got the fish kind of pushed up against the bank, or at least it did there. One thing I've discovered today is you got to get out of the wind a little bit. It's just the wind's blowing too hard to try to fish in the wind. But if you're out of the wind completely, there's no fish. So you kind of have to find a balance between being in the wind just a little bit. Okay, I cannot believe how much the temperature has dropped since I've been out here. If I were smart, I'd probably just go home. But I've been catching some giants, so I gotta keep trying. Okay, time for me to make my way back to the boat ramp. It's just too cold and too windy. I did catch some nice fish today. I'm glad I came out. When they came out with a wind advisory, I thought, you know, I probably better just stay home, but I'm glad I came out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back and fish with me next time.